Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another episode of Conversations with Chris and Cameron. It's episode 7. Sadly, we couldn't do a podcast last week. Cameron was a little busy. What were you up to last week, real quick, before we talk about what we're talking about in this show?
I was out of town, vacation, and then we talked about it trying to fit in an episode, but then it just didn't work out. But we're back, and we're here to talk Kentucky sports and talk all the fun stuff. So excited to be back, excited to be here talking with you.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed the vacation. We actually met for the first time yesterday. We were at the
Mhm.
basketball tournament yesterday where La Familia played. Sadly, they lost, but that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. La Familia for sure, along with Kentucky basketball and football, because of course, with Kentucky football, they had SEC media days, and UK was the very last day, and Mark Stoops, just like you said before we started our podcast, gave like the politically correct answers, like he wasn't overstepping his boundaries when he was speaking. So we've got a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. We're going to first talk about, though, the basketball tournament. And even though UK did not get as far, or La Familia did not get as far as they did last year, where they went to the Final Four, and of course they lost to Ohio State, their alumni team, but it was still exciting. I went to a couple games last year. I went to, of course, the game yesterday on Tuesday, and I thought La Familia was going to win once they went on that 16-0 run in that fourth quarter. I'm like, we've got this. Just have to play well with the Elam ending.
Yeah, I thought we did. The Kahlil Whitney three that gave us the lead. I was like, man, the way this the fan base is fired up, the way the guys are playing. I mean, DJ Burns, I thought he was like his soul was about to leave his body with how hype he was. Like
Yeah.
it looked like it was lined up. Cats were going to get it done. La Familia was going to be moving on, but yeah, it just did not end up going how we wanted. But that 16-0 run, like you mentioned, that was we almost seemed down for the count. I think we were down 12 at one point. And then things flipped, and I felt very good going into the Elam ending, but
Mhm.
uh, just just barely lost it. But it was chaos as always. TBT is just chaos. That's what's fun about it, though. It's like it feels nice because you can take it serious because it is your heroes growing up that you're getting to watch. But at the end of the day, you can kind of laugh about it. You're like, this is absolutely nuts. Like, what is happening? Like, there's just balls flying all over the place. I mean, injuries that are maybe faked. Yeah, it's just absolute chaos, but it's fun. It's July basketball. It's everything that we need.
Yeah, and speaking of fake, from my end, I was on the opposing side. So basically, La Familia's bench was over here, and I was more over here in the back and everything. So all I saw was Willie. He got injured, like from the hard foul, but I did not see the coach tell him to get down, get down. I saw the replay afterwards, after the game, because everybody was tweeting at me saying Willie Cauley-Stein wasn't really hurt because the coaching staff was telling him to get down so he wouldn't shoot the free throws. And then, of course, Archie Goodwin shot those free throws. He went one of two, sadly. And then, of course, Aberdeen Drive, they made the 3-1 against us. And honestly, it shouldn't have counted because there was really a shot clock violation. The ball didn't hit the rim.
Yeah, we know a thing or two about having shot clock violations be a reason that we end up getting screwed. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I did see the coach because I was right directly across from the bench. I was around midcourt, but I could see over there. And then, like, I didn't necessarily know what the coach was saying at first, but then Willie just drops, and it looks like the running back from Ole Miss last year that we all know. Like, it literally looked exactly like that. Where you're like, "There's no way, like, no shot."
Yeah.
But then I mean, he sold it pretty well because he had me fooled. At first, I was like, "No, there's no way." But then
Yeah.
the more he sat there, he was feeling it. Took his shoe off, I think, for a second. I was like, "Dang, all right, maybe he's actually hurt." I don't know. But then, I mean, you could just tell by the way he went to the locker room. It was like, yeah, they're faking this one. But I do wish Archie could have done it. Like, I think the scenario that we got was probably worst case scenario because like he goes
Yeah.
to the line and he has two to redeem how bad his free throws were on Sunday, how
Yeah.
bad he had been shooting free throws this game.
Uh-huh.
He can go to the line, go 2 for 2, game it. He's a hero. But then
Yeah.
he hits the first, misses second. It is just absolutely brutal. That was so sad. And then there's the video that went out about Archie going to half court and crying, and
Mhm.
Man, I'm glad he's already announced that he'll be running it back next year. He said, I'm not going out like that. But
Yeah.
gosh, he was so close to being just an absolute
Yeah.
legend. And
And
then,
you know what's crazy? That was his former team he was playing against yesterday.
yeah. Yeah. So that adds salt to the wound because like he gets to see his former teammates go on and move on. But we'll get him back next year.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll load up the squad and run it back. And but this year, I think there was a mix between like I think Kentucky was down a little bit, obviously, but then I think the league overall seemed like it was much better than last year. We
Mhm.
played heard that last year when they were the one seed in our region, and we just destroyed them. And then
Mhm.
now this is the two seed. It just feels like it was like better competition
Yeah.
overall. Like I knew a few of these guys that played for that this Eberline Drive team, and they're very good college players that didn't even end up seeing the floor. So like that
Mhm.
was a very good team. Can't be too disappointed in that loss, but it just
Mhm.
sucks to be that close after
Yeah.
coming back, all of that, all things considered. So
Yeah.
it's tough, but it was fun, like you said. As always, TBT was a blast.
Yeah, and hopefully La Familia can eventually win it because, of course, whoever wins the tournament, they get $1 million. So it'll be exciting to see who it is. And like I said, I'll be rooting for any team. I mean, West Virginia, they look great with Trey Mitchell. Trey Mitchell has been going crazy for them. So West Virginia's team is looking great along with others, and anything can happen. I mean, Louisville lost, and that was unexpected too. And of course, UK fans were making fun of Louisville fans the night before, saying you all lost and everything. And then, of course, now Louisville fans started to talk trash back to Kentucky fans because we lost yesterday. But like I said, just both games were crazy. Out of the three games, of course, the first game was a blowout for La Familia, but round of 32 and the Sweet 16 or round of 16, both games were just insane and it's very stressful for UK fans. I was at my girlfriend's place for the round of 32 and I was just like shaking, trembling, like so nervous. I'm like, oh, I'm like, are they going
Yeah.
to win? And then, of course, they lost in the Sweet 16, which wasn't fun.
Yeah, I was in the same boat on Sunday. I was like sitting there in an absolute like mess, just mentally. I was like, dude, like getting so aggravated, and then I would have to sit back and realize, like, dude, it's still just July. Like this is like this is not your regular Cats. But like you mentioned, Louisville going down, I would imagine I like they're not gonna, rig it like some people say the NBA or NFL does, but the TBT might try to do a little something next year to make sure Kentucky and Louisville are in it a little bit longer because I would say the viewership will go down.
Uh-huh.
The arenas will not be near as full because they had definitely lined that up perfectly so that we would match up with them, and then neither of us are playing at this point. So I would imagine the TBT people are probably the ones most devastated, even
Yeah.
outside of Kentucky and Louisville fans. They're probably just hurt because their viewership's going way down.
Yeah, you're right about that because so many people care about the state of Kentucky with their basketball with Louisville and UK, and then of course the only other state that probably compares to Kentucky with basketball is Indiana, just Purdue, the University of Indiana as well. Just they go crazy for their basketball team.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Purdue has a team, but I saw Assembly Ball, the Indiana team. They lost round one, like right off rip. So
Yeah,
yeah, all the basketball lovers around this area of the country are just checked out at this point. Like we're not watching. So
yeah.
um, I don't know who's gonna be watching. There may be 10 people total at the championship game, but congrats to whoever does that. But I did notice. I don't know if you paid attention to it last night at the game. Um, that everyone drive like. I mean, the whole team did it, but there was one assistant coach in particular that like he ran over and started like waving goodbye like in front of our current players like faces, and I thought Denzel was going to get in some big time trouble because that dude like went in front of him and started waving, and like Denzel like stepped up to him like he was about to like punch him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what's happening right now? Like I was just fed up, and then I was like, Denzel, do not do anything.
Do
And then he
not.
just kind of walked off, and it
Yeah.
was cool, but like yeah, tempers were flaring there at the end. I don't remember what Harrison had the ball at the very end, but they threw it and it almost went up in the like balcony. It was intense. It was definitely
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah. It
As
definitely gets
intense
intense.
as July can get. We'll just
Yeah.
put it that way. But it was fun. It was very fun.
It gets intense because it's a Elam ending like you never see that in any other sports at all. And it's just crazy what the basketball tournament does every year with the Elam ending. It just brings so much intensity because you have to get to that target score. Of course, the first game for La Familia wasn't intense at all, but like I said previously, second and third game, they were so intense, and I thought we were about to lose in the round of 32. And like I said, it was the first year with Sean Woods as the head coach, and who knows if he returns next year. Of course, he's coaching high school basketball, I think, for Scott County, right?
Yeah, Scott County.
Yeah. So we'll see if he returns next year. I wish him the best, but that's probably one of the reasons why he's not coaching college anymore because he didn't have a great coaching record. Of course, he was with Morehead State for a while, but yeah. So hopefully, if he does come back next year, La Familia will be a little bit better. Hopefully, they'll have a better roster, and I would love to see John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Alex Poythress, or others on next year's team for sure.
Yeah, I would like to see priority number one get Nate Sestina back. That's like the one I'm just like, dude, he did so much for us. And then I was curious why Bledsoe wasn't able to play this year. I know Nate had the um his wedding and honeymoon and all that this offseason or something, but Bledsoe, I was looking forward to having him back. James Young played well last year. Kellen
Uh-huh.
Grady played well. Like I was just interested in like why weren't some of these guys back?
Uh-huh.
But like you said, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. I want to see Derek Willis
Derek
get
Willis.
out and play some. That would be fun. And then
Mhm.
even some of these recent guys, if things don't work out NBA wise for Lamont Butler, Jackson Robinson, like if some of
Yeah.
them can play, you get some youth. I mean, we're throwing out mid to high 30-year-olds right now in this TBT with a lot of guys that are in their mid 20s. So it's
Mhm.
tough to hang, especially playing that many games and that few a days. But and then coaching wise. I'd seen on Twitter somebody say Tubby Smith, like just recommending that. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, that would be incredible. Because like
Yeah.
the one fault that people would talk about with Tubby was like the recruiting. He doesn't have to do the recruiting. 20 does that.
Want
Just do
to.
the coaching. So it would
Yeah.
be awesome getting a national champion coach, and everybody loves Tubby. So
Mhm. Yeah.
that would be super cool. If not him, maybe it is Sean Woods again. I don't think we're going the Tyler Eulis route again, just because it's
Hard.
he's elsewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it'll go, but I'm excited for it. I can't wait till next year. It's absolute chaos, but hopefully the Cats can get it done coming up soon because it's been fun. It's been
Yeah.
a lot of July action that's fun to follow.
Yeah, I mean, the past 2 years, like, it has been a lot of fun. And last year, I thought we had a better team. I always kept saying I felt like we had a better team last year than this year because, like you mentioned, we had Kellen Grady, Nate Sestina on the team, along with others. So I just thought last year we had a better team. And I just think the main problem is we definitely need another wing. If Kahlil Whitney returns, I loved him. And I'll have to tell you all a story about him very soon in this podcast. But Kahlil Whitney was a dog. Loved him
Yeah,
this past year, and hopefully he returns next year for La Familia. Like it would be a great addition. But like you said, just need to get some of the younger players back and not really the like you said, early 30s, mid 30 players. I mean, I feel like Willie Cauley-Stein was a lot better last year compared to this year. I felt like he wasn't really in shape compared to last year, where he was like in shape. It felt like ready for the games and everything. So hopefully, if Willie does return, he'll be back in better shape. But he might be interested in other things. I mean, he's 30. He could be picking up golf because he loves to golf now and everything. So that might be his main focus, and just to golf and play with his buddies now.
yeah. Like you said, Willie, I think was much better last year, and so was Karam Cantor. I was a
Yeah.
little disappointed in him this year, but I think we also need to just add a big of some sort, like whether we do try to just take Trey Mitchell, whoever it is, because like when Willie was not on the floor, it was a big
Mhm.
rebounding issue. Like
Yeah.
just offensive boards for them were insane.
Mhm.
And they weren't even like a super big team. It was really just the big, and then they would just crash the glass hard, and the guards would just be able to get so many boards. But I would, yeah, add a wing, add a big. And then yeah, get rolling and win one next year. But I am excited for it next year. But I think we need to talk about your story, this special moment for you.
Yeah, the special story that I'm going to talk to you all about. So last weekend they had events, or it might have been 2 weekends now. I can't remember. Time just keeps on slipping into the future. But to get to the point, basically a couple weekends ago, I became close with Kahlil Whitney. Basically, TBT La Familia, they had all these events for fans and media to cover, including like backpack giveaways and everything. So I went to a couple of these events. Sadly, I didn't get to go to the other fan events in the middle of the week with like the autograph signing, bottle signings. But basically, Kahlil Whitney just became close with everybody, me, along with the fans and parents and everything, and it was just great. And I got his phone number. I haven't really messaged him too much because I don't want to bug him, and he's probably also getting thousands of texts a day and everything. I did text him the other day whenever Louisville lost, but he didn't respond. But to get to the point, basically, after the game, I stuck around just to talk to the current players, and then basically I'm leaving. I'm walking to actually Chipotle, which isn't too far away from the arena from Memorial Coliseum. And basically I just see him and I'm like, "What's good, Khalil?" You know, just saying hey to him. I wasn't expecting him to offer me a ride. He offers me a ride to Chipotle, and he's like, "You want to get in the car and go?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, "I don't care." I'm like, "This is Khalil. Might as well." It might never happen to me again where a former Kentucky basketball player offers me a ride. So I get in there and basically I just thanked him for the ride. I actually filmed it, so I'll pull up the video for y'all to see, but I was so excited and
Yeah.
everything just for him to give me a ride. Obviously, he was a little sad about the game at that time, but I told him he played great and hopefully he'll be back next year, and I think he's planning on doing that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like whenever you had told me that after, you were like, "Yo, dude, Khalil just gave me a ride," and I was like, "Hold on, bro, what?" Like that was wild, but that was super generous of him.
Yeah.
And like I think he had already won the fan base back over. I think he's all in good grace and everything. But then doing that because like your tweet did it did good numbers, so a lot of people have seen that, and
Yeah.
there's been a lot of people kind of talk highly of him and be like, man, this is just awesome to see. So yeah, shout out to Khalil. It's awesome, and hopefully he'll be on soon, and we can get to talk to him a little bit, and
Hmm.
we can mention that with him once he's on. But yeah, it's a super cool story, one that you'll be able to hold forever.
Tell my tell my kids, grandkids in the future.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then of course my other tweet that did a lot of numbers was Ansley Omnor basically a fan told him not to become a stranger of Lexington and come back anytime. And Ansley's like, I'll definitely not become a stranger with Lexington and everything. So it sounds like Omnor will also be coming back as well.
Yeah, I wish he could have got a little more tick, but
Mhm.
yeah, I am excited. He just kind of stuck around and yeah, like you said, won't become a stranger. So
Yeah.
love Ansley.
Yeah, and then just to talk a little bit more about Kahlil Whitney, like it was just great to see him come back with La Familia and everything. And I talked to him a little bit, and he was saying before he even or whenever he made that TikTok post, he was already signed up with La Familia. Basically, he was on the roster and everything. So as soon as he made that post and got a lot of fan engagement from likes and people reposting it immediately La Familia was like, we've got posts that he's on this year's team. It's going to do a lot of numbers, and it did do a lot of numbers and worked out well for La Familia and us also for Whitney.
Yeah, no doubt. And man, you got to see the Kahlil Whitney takeover too. He had like what do you have, 18?
18 points, something like
Yeah.
that. It was insane.
Yeah, he
Just
was balling. He was hitting fadeaway mid-rangers and
yeah, that
hitting
three.
threes. He was doing everything. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
But I and basically to refer back to that TikTok is it went viral saying he probably just needed a hug. And basically he revealed that while injured, he worked nightclub security at a lobby in New Jersey. So that's just crazy that he was playing, pro ball, but then also had to become a security guard for a nightclub in New Jersey. Just crazy to think about.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, I'm glad Khalil's back. And I mean, now that you're boys with him, I gotta meet him at some point too. I gotta say something to him.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to give him a few days to hit him up. Of course, I should have probably texted him thanking him, but I'll do that on like Monday. Like I'll give it a few days so he can just relax after the game and have some fun time. And hopefully he'll see my text too.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to get him on here soon. Hopefully
Yeah.
that'll work out.
Yep. We'll keep you all up to date about that. But enough talking about good old La Familia and the basketball tournament, and we're going to talk now a little bit about SEC Media Days with good old Mark Stoops. And basically, he just gave out all these political answers. And what we mean as political answers is basically he wanted to say all the right things and make sure none of the media would grab anything that he would say. And the one thing that stuck out to me was he's tired of the motivated Mark Stoops memes. He's like, he doesn't love it at all. He doesn't like it. And he's like, it's more, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be coaching here at Kentucky after going into his 13th year.
Yeah, it's grateful Mark Stoops now. But like you said, he gave the political answers, and there was even at one point, I don't remember what the question was or what he was even hinting at, but he had started to say something. He was like, "Ah, I probably shouldn't say that." Like he was like very, very black and white with his answers. It was like making everything clear, giving the answers that ChatGPT would give you if you were to ask that what you should respond to that question. Like it was just, yeah, I mean, it was just talking highly of what he has and not bashing anything that left, and talking highly of who's within the program walls, and like giving all the right answers. But for me, I'm also a very easily like motivated guy. So some of that I was like, all right, I actually like that he said this. But then I was like sitting back, I was like, well, he's supposed to say this, like all these different things. But yeah, overall, there wasn't a ton of takeaways. It was just kind of like good to see him finally talk, because they've been quiet overall. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't done a whole lot of interviews. He hasn't done much. And then he had a little humor there early on talking about Drinkwitz. And then I think there was one like playoff question that they brought up, and he was like, well, obviously I haven't thought too much about the playoff because I've got a lot of work to do, if you can't tell. Like just kind of
Yeah.
putting himself down a little bit, but little funny talk there. So yeah, there wasn't a ton of takeaways, like I said. It was just the
Yeah.
cliche answers, but it was good to hear him talk nonetheless.
Yeah, and I love the drink with what you're talking about. We probably won't mention it just because, we like to keep our podcast like good old GPG rated. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It's probably more PG rated what Mark Stoops had to say, but it was still pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. Him and Drinkwitz have a funny relationship, and I don't know if you saw the video, but SEC posted it whenever. I didn't realize like they were super close, but Drinkwitz was like sitting there. He was getting something done, maybe doing an interview, and Stoops walked in. He was like Stoops, and like yelled at him, and then they went and dapped up, and then, I
Yeah.
didn't realize they were that close. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
I
had
didn't
no
know
idea
that
they were.
either. I feel like
Yeah,
Stoops and Shane Beamer aren't that close though.
yeah. They're the ones that probably aren't sending Christmas cards to each other.
Yeah.
They're probably staying away from that.
Yeah, Stoops with the sunglasses and joke. He had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Beamer's owned us though.
Yeah.
Technically, we haven't beat him because they we got the one win vacated that we had against him. So,
Back in.
yeah, we got to get him this year.
Yeah, hopefully we can. I mean, it's the game this year. It's at South Carolina, so it'll be a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
tougher.
yeah. It won't be easy, that's for sure. But
Yeah,
hey, we can do it. We've won there a
yeah,
time or a few, so we can get it done.
yeah. And I think the one quote that stuck out to everybody was whenever Mark Stoops was talking about entering into his 13th year. I'll say the G-rated answer. He said, "This is hard,"
Yeah,
and everything. So basically, that
this
stood out.
crap,
Huh? Yeah,
this
this crap.
crap is hard.
Yeah, so that really stood out to everybody who was covering that with media and everything, which is rightfully so because, yes, you are the head coach. You've been doing it going into your 13th year, but you're also making 9 million a year. You should be able to be a successful head coach by making that much, and he's in the top 10 of coaches getting paid at a college football, and it's crazy how much he's making, and it should be a little bit easier for you because you're making so much.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And we'll talk a little bit of the revenue sharing, but
Mhm.
to this point, there are no excuses on why like we shouldn't have been better last year and maybe a couple years prior. But yeah, he did talk about the finally having an offensive coordinator that's returned. Like
Yeah.
it's and it, I think that's one of those things that you can't take lightly. I think that's actually going to be a huge plus for us this year, like actually having some retention in the coordinators room. So yeah, he talked about that. So
Mhm.
like there's no excuses to be as bad as we were last year this year. Now, if we don't have a great record, obviously we've talked about it. The
Mhm.
schedule doesn't do us any favors, but
Yeah.
we should definitely be much better. And he talked a whole lot about the turnover. There's 50 new incoming players. There's 26 transfers or whatever. Like like you've got all you need to succeed, and you handpicked Zach Calzada. You went and got the one of the best short yardage backs in America and Dante Dowdell. So like
Mhm.
you got it all. You just got to go
Yeah.
win now.
Yeah, and they have to win for sure. I mean, the like you said, the past few years, I predicted 9-3 back in 22, and they went 7-6. Of course, 7-5 before the bowl game, and then I predicted 8-4 the following year, went 7-6, and then this past year I predicted 7 wins, and they only won 4 games. So hopefully, with all the new players, I mean, like you were talking about, they added 50 new players from the transfer portal, but also their incoming recruiting class. And the other thing that stands out to me is just hopefully they have an improved offensive line because the past few years it's been awful. And RIP to John Schlarman, but that's whenever it started to take a dip after he passed away. So I'm hoping this year with Watford, he can actually have a decent to good offensive line this upcoming year because we brought in all this talent. Joshua Braun, for example, from Arkansas, and I think he'll be one of the best tackles we have this year.
Yeah, and Chiaz Pete was one of the highest rated
Yeah, I
linemen
know.
in general. So he'll be holding it down on the left side of things. But yeah, I think the line's definitely going to be a lot better, and it has to be because that is where
Mhm,
games are won and lost is in the trenches. So yeah, the O line's got to be a lot better, and then the defensive line I'm very high on
mhm,
with the transfers that we were able to pick up and with some retention. So I think both sides of the ball will be much better in the trenches. So.
mhm.
Um, that's what's really going to matter. That's like
Yeah,
that's been the biggest difference between the Kentucky that was winning a lot of games and then the Kentucky of the last couple of years. Like the line play, like you said, it's just been below average the last few years, and so that's got to change. But I like the running back room we've got. I like the Calzada, but he's also got Cutter sitting there that's kind
yeah,
of pressuring him. I mean, Stoops mentioned that Cutter is the guy that's next up. Maybe that's a
yeah,
week from now. Or I just think the leash is not super long on Zach Calzada, and
yeah.
I think he'll actually be pretty solid for us. But if he's not, it's Cutter's team. So I'm just excited for the team overall.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, the Stoops conversation, everything. The funny thing is the very, 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 very first question. Nick Roush doesn't waste any time. Like that, like you mentioned his answer, he was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like he basically gave the most sassy answer he can give
Yeah,
without cussing at all. Like he was just like, "Yeah, you media people, whatever, like y'all have fun with it." But like Nick Roush waiting no time was
yeah,
hilarious. He said, "How motivated are you?" Like
yeah.
that's so goofy.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He wasted no time asking that question. And really, the media hasn't really done it too much. It's more just, fans making memes from it. It's just every time he was speaking to media members, he would just use the word motivated, and that's why it became a meme. Like if Mark Stoops didn't say motivated every single media response he had a chance to after the season, like nobody would be latching on to this.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, it's all just fans. It's just Twitter stuff.
Uh-huh.
So maybe he's seeing a little bit of WT stuff or something. I don't know, but
Okay.
he's
Hey,
probably just seeing some Twitter stuff.
I've made some memes though of the
Yeah,
motivated Mark
yeah,
Stoops.
you've made some good ones too. Yeah, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
but
yeah, it's just funny. Like he kind of snapped. I didn't know if he would like fully get it, but Nick Roush went straight to it, and he kind of snapped on him. But
yeah.
it was funny.
Yeah, and then speaking about the trenches, they have to be better on fourth down conversions. I mean, last year, I don't know the exact percentage, but every time they went on it on fourth and goal, it just felt like they failed. And honestly, Mark Stoops, he was very gutsy at points last year where he would just go on every fourth and goal, no matter how far they were away. And honestly, I think he learned his lesson after that Georgia game to actually start going on it on fourth downs and everything. And granted, it worked against Ole Miss, and UK eventually won that game, and that was a big upset. And then, of course, they didn't play well. They only got one other win, and that was against Murray State, I believe. So they only
Yeah,
got one other win after that Ole Miss game. So it'll be interesting to see. But Mark Stoops said that this team has adopted a fourth and one mentality where they need to be urgent, must have unity, and must execute. So I'm excited to see that because, like I said, if UK hopefully they don't get into the third and longs or fourth and shorts where they have to go for it and everything on fourth downs. I'm just hoping if we do go on that on fourth downs, we'll be able to execute and get a first down or a touchdown, whatever that scenario may be.
Yeah, I am excited. I love that mentality too, like the fourth and one mentality. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited about the whole situation and the way the Georgia game ended. There was a whole lot of
Mhm.
controversy, but I mean, we were pick six standing away from winning that game
Yeah.
with or without that play. So um, I am just excited though. There's gonna be a lot of good teams that we're gonna be playing. There's a lot of winnable games. There's not gonna be many easy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But um, it's gonna be a fun year though. Fourth and one mentality. Where I'm riding with it.
Yeah, and at minimum, I got us winning 4 games at least. So I
We
want
better.
I want more than that, but at minimum, I got 4 wins for sure. But like I said, if they can actually convert on third and fourth down conversions, I believe this year's team could be a lot better. I mean, last year, if they were able to do that, I think the season could have ended a lot better as well. They could have probably beat Vanderbilt or Georgia or Florida if they actually converted on their third and fourth downs.
Yeah, and I mean, we had Tennessee right there too. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, last year was just a lot of. It felt like every third down, it was like, well, we'll probably just run this right here, or
Mhm.
we'll go try to throw something. And the line play was not strong at all. So then
Mhm.
that would just kind of throw things off, and it was just a mess last year. So yeah, hopefully it's much better.
Yeah.
Um, but I do have one thing I want to mention because I didn't know this. It was early on when he was doing the player introductions. I don't know if you like noticed this or if you just watched like this was like in his monologue thing. The Alex Safari thing, like about him, like yeah, he moved to the United States from
Yeah.
Ghana, and then
Yeah.
he was in school and just signed up for football thinking it was soccer,
Soccer.
and
I
he
did
went to
see that.
practice, had no idea what was going on, but that was like his introduction to football. I was like, that's insane. Like, and then he's become an incredible defensive player. Like, and you have to say player because he's been able to dominate at different positions. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, like that's just a wild story.
Yeah. And you know who made him stay in football, right?
Now who?
It was Caleb Johnson, the guy from Iowa, the running back that
Really?
got drafted. Yeah. It
I
was
love Caleb Johnson.
yeah. It was
That's
his
crazy.
yeah, it was his friend Caleb Johnson from grade school that made him stay in football. So if it probably wasn't due to Johnson, he wouldn't be playing college football right now.
That is wild. Yeah, shout out to Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, shout out to Caleb Johnson, and now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, the AFC North is just crazy hard, and I'm a Bengals fan, so we'll see how well the Bengals can do this upcoming year. Hopefully, no 0-2 starts, so
Yeah, the start's always brutal. But yeah, I don't have an NFL team, but I'm going with a friend that's a Steelers fan to Pittsburgh this weekend. So I'll be going, I'll actually see Caleb Johnson this weekend. So I might personally thank him for Alex Safari being a player for my favorite college football team. So
yeah,
that is super cool though. Yeah, like you said, AFC North is it's a blast right now because I mean
yeah,
there's two very good teams, two top five quarterbacks in the NFL, and then you got the Steelers, whatever's going on there, and then
yeah.
the Browns are
Browns.
just being the Browns. But yeah, the AFC North can be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun every year. Hopefully, the Bengals, like I said, can avoid that 0-2 start. Just to talk a little bit more about Mark Stoops and everything, we're going to talk about NIL and everything, but also he talked about before NIL, just to talk about Mark Pope. He said he was talking about how Mark Pope is absolutely wonderful. He's very real. He's a very real man. He's the best, and then also reflected refreshed campus vibe and alignment across programs. But I mean, not many people are thinking that right now because of the whole NIL stuff that has transpired.
Yeah, yeah, it's been an interesting couple days on Kentucky Twitter because it's a lot of beef going back and forth. But um, even just the initial Pope era, the start, like it was either the day of or the day before. Like the press conference, there was the picture that came out of Stoops and Pope together, and it was like, wow, this is refreshing. Like this is just
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, I'm glad that Mark and Mark are able to, get along and agree on things, and then we'll see how this shared revenue goes. And
Mhm.
I'm sure there will be. You can't make everybody happy, so
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will be upset, but hopefully they're able to work things out and figure it all out.
Yeah, and basically what the problem is. Matt Norlander reported that Kentucky is three times the estimated 15% most schools will be using in revenue sharing funds on men's basketball, and which and then it says that cuts into what the football program will receive, which should be significantly less than what most programs around the SEC are commanding, 75% of the revenue sharing budget. So many fans were complaining about that, saying like if we still want a good football program, they should still be getting all the NIL revenue because they need to be good because technically at most universities the football program makes the most money, sadly, compared to other sports programs.
Yeah, the number that Matt Norlander put out, like if that's real, we'll be putting out like a group of five football team. Like no joke. Like I don't know. Like if it was my decision, it would obviously it'd be much harder to be in Mitch Barnhart's shoes than our shoes, that are just talking about it. But I would think it's got to be way less than that for basketball because like
45%, yeah, way less than
yeah,
45%.
it has to be way less because like I mean, I guess I'll just like for those of you that maybe tuned in that like don't fully understand, like you're getting the $20.6 million to share across all athletics, and then most schools, this is just to help the example, but most schools are giving around 2.6 to women's basketball, baseball, other sports, whatever, to spread that out
Yeah,
and help fund their program. So then you're at 18 million left. Most schools, especially SEC, Big Ten, they're giving 15 million to football, 3 million to basketball. So like if we're doing $9 million in basketball, like yeah,
yeah,
we will have the greatest team of all. We'll have literally the dream team every year. Like that'll be fun. But we'll also be fielding a high school team in
yeah.
football, and I mean, at that point, like you said, football is the moneymaker. If you're fielding that, like nobody's going to football games. You're not making the money that like you should be football wise. Like football is king when it comes to money. So
Mhm.
I think it's gotta be way less. Like I think if it
Yeah,
was
it can't be
me,
45%. There's no
yeah,
way.
it cannot be. It cannot be. Like I think if it was me, and I want to hear your perspective, I would probably do 13 and a half or something for football, and then 4.5 basketball. Like that's what I would guess, like somewhere around that range, because then you're still almost doing double for basketball. So you're going to be by far the best SEC roster every year, but like comfortably in basketball. And then in football, it's enough to field it. And it's like, I mean, you're not going to have the most money. You're not going to have the exact same amount of money, but it's how you spend the money on how you end up doing. So like, I think if you're making like smart decisions and you make the right coaching hires and everything once Stoops leaves, and even if Stoops is doing well here, like I think with the 13.5 million, you can make a very, very
Yeah,
reasonable roster and compete in the SEC. So I think my number would be like more in that territory. Definitely not 15-3, and then definitely not
yeah.
45% to basketball. But what would yours be?
I don't know. I would say probably if we're dividing it by percentage wise, I would say probably like 60% football or so, I would say, and then probably 30% Kentucky men's basketball or something, and then maybe a little bit more, 35. I would say 60% football, 35% basketball, and then 5% for the other sports, I would say.
Yeah, so I think we're around the same boat. We would
Yeah.
probably be about the same. But yeah, if the report that Norlander put out, like I don't understand how Stoops would even like be
Function.
able to speak ever. Like I
Yeah.
feel like he would like pass away. Like if that number is serious, like because you can't do anything with that if
Yeah.
you're talking about football. But I mean basketball, that would also ramp up
Mhm.
the pressure for Pope, because if you're having a nine
Yeah.
million dollar roster three times what your opponents are, you better like go undefeated and you better
Going.
win
Uh-huh.
multiple national championships every
Yeah.
every couple of years. Like it would be a mess for both sides if that was the case, I think.
Yeah. I would say probably about 12 million, I would say spend for football, like 12 or 13 million.
Yeah. I think I'm 13 and a half and then do 4.5 basketball, like if you're doing
Mhm.
the million percentage. But yeah, it's a tough decision. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be so much tougher to be in Mitch's shoes than ours because we're
Yeah.
just two Kentucky psychos here talking on a podcast. But
Yeah.
for him, he's actually got to make this decision
Work.
that makes people happy, like
Mhm.
and
And
and,
then
and make it
of course,
just
sorry for
wise.
interrupting, but
No, you're good.
and then of course you have to also think about it. I mean, fans and donors can still donate to the programs, whichever sport you want to donate to, whether it be football, basketball, women's basketball, soccer, swimming. Like fans and donors can still donate. So you can't forget about that as well.
Yeah, yeah, we'll still have a lot of donations and everything, and we'll be doing just fine. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's going to be a big decision. I hope they have to put it out though, because it's definitely not been put out by every school so far. But some schools, you've got an idea of what they're going to end up doing. I hope they do that, like, because I know schools like Arkansas, Mississippi State, like those schools are going to give a little bit more to baseball than they do
Hmm.
most other SEC schools for their baseball program. So like, I just want to like, just from a nosy perspective, like I just want to know what
Yeah.
these teams end up doing for that. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting though.
Yeah, and then one last topic about NIL and with Kentucky football and basketball is it'll be also interesting to see what this NIL clearinghouse, every player that makes $600 or more on whatever it might be an advertisement or anything, it must go through that NIL clearinghouse to get approved. And like I've been hearing it's been taking forever to get it cleared and everything for players. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully it won't be too much longer of a hold up for other teams or players to get this because many athletes are going to be making well over $600 per advertisement they do or whatever they do to get that NIL money.
Yeah, $600 isn't even like close to what some of these dudes are gonna be making. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like it's so wild because like the two biggest changes in like college sports in the last 50 years happened within like a year. And
Yeah.
now it's like it's been the wild wild west the last few years, and then like now you're getting to a point where you're trying to pass these rules, but then they also don't line up with this, and then like there's this that's cloudy, so then you don't really know like what this is, and then there's just all this like wild stuff that they're trying to regulate. So
Hmm.
it's wild like where we're at right now, but it will get figured out. And
Hopefully.
yeah, I'm just excited to see. Yeah, I think it will at some point. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully. But yeah, I just hope we
Hmm.
can keep college sports at least similar to how they are, because I know there's been the talk of um SEC, Big Ten maybe splitting from the
Yeah.
NCAA, but
Making its own league. Yeah.
yeah, so I just
Well,
hope
that
they
turns
get
out.
these things figured out.
Yeah, and then of course Greg Sankey. I remember we talked about this in a couple of podcast episodes earlier, but he said he doesn't believe in any of the NIL deals that these players are making or anything or how much teams are spending to get these athletes onto their university. So I just found that crazy whenever he said that. I'm like, you're the commissioner, shouldn't you be like knowing this? Shouldn't you care about this and everything? So I just found that interesting. And then of course, like you said, what he brought up was the SEC thinking to depart from the NCAA, which could happen, but I don't think it will because of how much money the SEC still does get from the NCAA. Of course, they get a lot of money through their deals with now ABC, which I miss SCC on CBS as well. Like, can we bring that back? But of course, ABC is all right, but nothing like CBS. So
Yeah, man, we had a good SEC on CBS. Just
yeah,
hearing, man, Danielson and Ness were, man, that was wow. We had it made, but
yeah,
yeah, ABC's fun. It's fine. It gets the job done, but yeah, nothing like SEC on CBS.
yeah. Good times. But we're going to go back to now basketball just to talk about this a little bit. But Mark Pope, he did talk about Andrea Yelovich. He tried to give everybody an update about that. And he was jokingly, of course, saying he would love for him to be here tomorrow. But obviously, that probably won't happen. But he expects him to hopefully be here soon. And once he does get on campus, he said he cannot practice immediately because, of course, he'll have to get in shape. But then as well. He has to make sure he gets all these classes he has to get passed and everything. So it'll just be interesting because I know he mentioned that you have to take a certain amount of summer classes, like hour-wise in the summer. And of course, he's not been on campus and he's been back in his home country right now. So it'll be interesting to see about Andrea Yelovich and when he gets here. Hopefully, it's sooner rather than later. I'm thinking probably within the next month, though, like probably middle of August, late August, I would say.
Yeah, he's about to be scary when he gets here, man. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, it feels like we're finally like going around the final turn to land him and get him here.
Mhm.
It's been some struggles, but yeah, Pope's very confident, staff's very confident. So I'm
Yeah,
excited for him to get here. And
yeah,
hopefully once he gets here, everything ends up going smooth. But yeah, there's the light at the end of the tunnel with his whole process for sure.
Hey, if there's any positive though, UK did beat La Familia.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. And then I don't know if you saw anything what Jack Pilgrim had to say from the practice notes, but he had an in-depth
It was a lot.
he
Yeah, it
went
was.
in depth about everything. But basically, to summarize a little bit of it, if you didn't get a chance to see it, but to summarize it, he believes that Jalen Lowe will be, of course, the starting point guard. I think everybody thought that whenever he first committed here. But he basically said he's been a standout playing with speed and everything. So, not surprised about that. Otega away, he's been playing great, same as last year and everything. And the one thing that stuck out to me is he said he's been playing better defensively, and that's what I want because I want this team to just go crazy on defense, hold teams to 60, 70 points instead of allowing them to score 90 or 100 points on us compared to last year.
Yeah, no doubt. And one of the sentence that started out his conclusion kind of summarizes it a little bit. He said, overall, the team has a totally different identity than the one a year ago. This one gets downhill, likes to turn to defense, defense to offense, gritty and tough compared to the skilled and savvy, similar tempo, but more athletes and bruisers with physicality. A total 180. They beat the HELL out of each other. So
Yeah.
this team is a lot different. I mean, some of this is like what we have known, but it is cool to see like a it's super in
Yeah.
depth, like kind of report from him.
Mhm.
So I'm glad he did that. Even though, congrats to him, now a father of two.
Yeah.
So he's doing that in nonstop work. So shout out to Jack Pilgrim. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, great stuff from him.
Mhm.
Talking about practices.
He had the baby 2 weeks early, so that came as a surprise too.
Yeah, he said that the baby's first words were, "Can I get a Kahlil Whitney jersey?" So.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty funny. And another thing that stuck out is he said the foundation's being laid and it's a strong one. And I'm just excited to see what the foundation is for this upcoming year. And like I said, I think we're going to be locked in defensively this upcoming year. Our offense may struggle a little bit compared to last year, but I really like where our defense is at probably, and I think it's just going to improve. Same with our offense. And one other thing that stuck out to me for that players report and everything, he said that Trent Noah and Colin Chandler are the like top two shooters right now. I'm thinking to myself, everybody's been raving about Cam Williams though during practice with him being a great shooter. So that just came as a surprise to me that he said what he's been hearing, the top two shooters are, like I said, Colin Chandler and Trent Noah.
Yeah, I think that's honestly says more about those two than it does about Cam because I think Cam is
Mhm.
doing just fine or maybe even better than advertised. But I just think like the way that people have talked about Trent Noah and Colin Chandler, it's like mind blowing. So these year two guys, I'm so excited. That's my favorite thing like to look forward to going into the year. Like seeing how good Jalen Lowe is going to be is going to be awesome. Seeing like who ends up playing more out of like Jasper Johnson, Denzel Aberdeen at that two spot, but like
Mhm.
just seeing the growth of Trent Noah and Colin Chandler, like man, like we saw both of them towards the end of the year
Yeah.
become much better than what they were at the beginning of the year. So I can't even imagine the leaps and bounds that they're about to take this offseason.
Yeah, and Trent Noah looks like he does have a different jump shot compared to last year, and he also looks thinner compared to last year. Like he was a little like thick boy, I was saying. You could,
Yeah,
but he definitely looks stronger. He looks like he can get off the ground quicker, and that'll help with getting rebounds. And of course, whenever he has to go up for dunks, having to posterize on somebody. So hopefully, we'll see
yeah,
some posters from him. But I'm excited to see that. But hopefully, as well, Colin Chandler gets healthy. I know he's been battling the injury bug during summer practices and everything. He didn't play, of course, against La Familia, so I'm hoping he can get healthy. But like Mark Pope said, he's looking great and everything, and I can't wait to see what, like you were saying, what Chandler can do in year two. One thing about Brandon Garrison, to mention another year two player, uh, Jack Pilgrim did say that he does great things during practice, and they're like, "Wow, he's taking the next turn," and then the next thing he does something stupid during practice, and they're like, "Why are you reverting back to your bad habits?" You know?
yeah. That's a very BG thing. Like that just sounds like so just accurate. Like it's just
Yeah,
one play is spectacular, and then the next play it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like that. that just makes all the sense.
Hey, it's Brandon Garrison time, right?
Yeah, it's Brandon Garrison time.
Yeah, but just to talk a little bit more about players, Jasper Johnson, Jack Pilgrim said that Jasper Johnson is reminding the team that he's like the beginning of Rob Dillingham whenever Rob Dillingham was really not strong at all and he was getting bullied during the Global Jam tournament and he was so weak and basically after the Global Jam tournament Rob Dillingham went to the workout room and just worked out and you could tell at the beginning of the season that he was completely different compared to the Global Jam tournament.
Yeah, yeah. Rob changed very quick, added some muscle, and
Mhm.
um, what was the strength trainer? Was it Braden Welsh? Was that his name
Brady
at that
Welch, I
time?
believe, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. He
he
did
went,
spectacular with everybody. It felt like,
yeah,
but yeah. So Jasper, I mean, obviously, anytime you hear him compared to a guy like Rob, that's a good thing because like Rob is amazing. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see Jasper put on a little bit of weight, muscle wise, and just be able to handle it all physically. But
mhm.
I can't wait to see that kid ball. Like, I
Yeah,
wish he would have been at the game last night so we could have maybe met him. But
yeah.
I am so excited for Jasper.
Yeah, I'm excited for Jasper as well. And like I said, there were a lot of current players at the game. I saw Cam Williams, Denzel Aberdeen, Braden Hawthorne, and then I'm not for sure who else, but those are the three that I can name like off the top.
Jalen Lowe. Jalen
Jalen Lowe
Lowe's.
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a picture with him or did you get the ball sign?
I only got
Both.
pictures. I didn't ask for autographs. I do have my basketballs over here. I got the good old the basketball tournament basketball and a mini basketball as well. So I got a
Oh,
couple
sweet.
stuff. Got a couple of merchandise after the games. Maybe I'll use that this upcoming year. Be like, hey, sign my balls if I'm not being a media member this year.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I
And
always
don't
just
take that
forget
out of
about
context, everybody.
yeah, yeah. Uh I always just forget about the basketball that I have that like I just need to get it signed. Like I only have I think it's like Fox, Monk, and PJ. That's like the signatures that I have on it. And then
Yeah.
I have just some legends, Todd Leonard, Sam Malone,
Oh yeah.
Brian Long. Yeah, they're on there. But yeah, I always forget about it. But I did get pictures with Jalen Lowe, Cam Williams, Denzel Aberdeen, and Braden Hawthorne last night. They were awesome.
Yeah.
They were definitely one of us because they were devastated when we lost.
Yeah.
They were up on the rope yelling
Uh-huh.
while we were coming back. So they are definitely fitting right into BBN right
Yeah.
off rip.
And talking about Hawthorne, Pilgrim also said that he has shown some jaw-dropping athleticism, but his body needs time because he's so skinny. Like I saw him yesterday, and he's very tall and everything, but like Pilgrim said, he's just very skinny.
Yeah, I saw somebody. Who was it that put out like the Tayshaun Prince comparison the other day?
That was Mark Pope. He compared
Oh,
Hawthorne.
that was just Pope. Okay, I couldn't
Yeah,
remember if it was like his quote or if somebody had just put that out. But like that is it's high praise. That is high
yeah,
praise because that's a like a retired Jersey type of guy. Like that
yeah.
is Tayshaun is a legend. So if he's
Mhm.
anything close to that,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
Yep, in due time, as long as Hawthorne sticks it out and competes for minutes, I think he'll be great come maybe possibly his sophomore year, but for sure his junior year if he gets there because like I said, he could easily transfer or he could just add a lot of weight and then just become a star at UK overnight. Well, not overnight, but you get my point.
Yeah, yeah, right away.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about one last thing and then we're going to get off the podcast for the night. But I don't know if you saw, but what the Louisville writer said about Tyran Stokes and what a lot of people are saying right now that Kentucky like might be the leader at this point in his recruitment, and that came as a surprise because everybody's like, isn't he a Louisville lock, and everything, but surprisingly not. Maybe Tyran Stokes, the number one overall recruit in the class of 2026, will end up at Kentucky. And if that does happen, it will be amazing.
Yeah, that would be an absolutely massive pickup. But I did see that. I don't know if I fully believe like anything that comes out. Like I know the thing came out about his mom a week or two saying like, "Do you know where we're from? Like we're from
Yeah.
Louisville. Like we don't do that Kentucky stuff." But like also the mom could be playing into recruiting a little bit where like she knows it's about to get out. So I'm just gonna say something that like throws people off. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I believe like any reports right now until it's from like Joe Tipton's mouth or
Yeah.
Tyran Stokes himself, or because I don't even know who that Louisville guy was. I had never heard of him.
Or
So I was
Travis
like,
Grantham. You can't forget
yeah,
about
yeah,
him.
Yeah, Travis Brandon. Like I gotta hear it from somebody like that. Like
Uh-huh.
I gotta hear it on "Here Comes the Boom" from Poacek, like somebody like that. But I mean, if we're leading, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I've not felt bad about it. I haven't felt good about the Taylor Kenny recruitment. Like
Mhm.
just, I mean, he just released his top 12, and I don't really understand why kids release top 12s anyways. But the Tyran
Engagement
Stokes,
baiting.
what'd you say?
Engagement baiting.
Dude, yeah, like because he's only even like I think he visits maybe Arkansas, but he visits like Texas soon, and it's
Yeah.
been Kentucky, Louisville, Purdue. Like that's been like the three. Like Xavier was in it. That's just like a hometown thing, I'm guessing. But and,
Mhm.
like Oregon was in it. Miami was in it. Like it was a wild top 12. But back to Tyron, like I've never like there's never been anything like vibes wise where like I felt bad about it, felt good about it. Like it's just been kind of all over the place. It's just been there's been not a lot known, and I've seen both fan bases already coping for like if he does go to the other school, or fan bases like feeling decent about it and they're hyping him up already. So like if we are in the lead, that is amazing because like you said, it's the number one player in the country. If we can land him, because like he's
Mhm.
going to want the ball a lot, but he's
Mhm.
also a wing. He's a forward. So, like,
Yeah.
he's not going to need to play point guard. And Jalen can come back for a senior year next year. Like, I
Mhm.
think he would mesh perfect.
Yeah.
Having an absolute freak of an athlete like that and having a guy that's going to go top 10 no matter what happens,
Mhm.
I think that would be massive for us.
Yeah. And I think it really depends on also how Jaden Quaintance does. And of course, the rumor is that Tyran Stokes wants to commit before his basketball season begins. So that'll be coming up in 4 months, basically. So that's insane that he wants to even commit before his basketball season begins. But like I said, it just depends. Last year, UK played great with of course, Amari Williams, and I could see Tyran Stokes being Jaden, or not Jaden Quaintance, but Amari Williams come next year if he does come to Kentucky.
Yeah, yeah, he's gonna be a good player no matter where he goes, obviously. But it would just like it seems like the schools that are like kind of in the mix for him, it's like Kentucky, Louisville with Kansas like flirting in there. But like
Hmm.
I don't know, like it's just been a wild recruitment where there's not a whole
Yeah.
lot of talk. But like you said, if he's committing as soon as what he says he wants to, then we'll start hearing some reports and different things soon, and we may get crystal balls here in the next couple months. So like, it'll
Hmm.
be fun to follow as the season comes up, and maybe he
Yeah.
commits here soon.
And here's what the Louisville writer said. It's Jody Demling. He works with 24/7 Sports, but he said this in part. I will say this: the word this week has been that UK does leave for Stokes, and that's just insane to think about. And hopefully, Tyran Stokes does end up at Kentucky, and I think he would be perfect. Like he could be the perfect person to replace Jaden Quaintance, which everybody expects Quaintance to leave after this year, and hopefully he'll be a top five pick, maybe even number one, maybe, but I don't think that'll happen. But hopefully top five, and that'll just show how important Mark Pope has with his just basketball talent he has with his offensive playmaking, his scheming he has for the team and plays he runs. So I'll be excited to see what this upcoming year's team can do. And like I said, recruitment season is heating up for basketball, and the next few months we'll start to hear top recruits committing to big schools, and hopefully Kentucky will end up with some top fish because sadly that didn't end up last year. We came close with Caleb Wilson, but we'll see what happens this upcoming year. But hopefully Mark Pope can end up with getting a top fish from high school this upcoming year.
Yeah, the 2026 class is absolutely loaded, and we've already lost out on Crow. So,
Hmm.
yeah, whether it's Stokes or Caleb Holt or Darren Rippey, like one of these guys got to land here soon because then they help recruit other guys. And yeah, getting two to three of them would be very nice. And yeah, hopefully we land a big fish coming up soon.
And to end this podcast, I'm back on my Twitter feed just looking at the Kahlil Whitney tweet that I sent out. And some woman, I guess, she saw me get into his car and she said, "We saw him pick you up. Love it." So
All
that's
right,
a little
there you go.
funny. But I think that's the end of our podcast. We covered a lot in about an hour. I hope we hope you all enjoyed. And sorry we didn't have a podcast last week, but like I said, our goal is to have at least one podcast a week, maybe two, since football season is upcoming. So maybe we'll have two podcasts a week. We'll keep you all up to date. But like I said, our goal one podcast a week. But we hope you all enjoyed. But This is Chris Beesmore signing out with episode 7 of Conversations with Chris and Cameron. And of course, Cameron as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Cameron, thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, like you mentioned, not having one last week, we're back to it. And yeah, maybe interviews coming up soon, multiple episodes a week, all that good stuff. So thank you for tuning in. And glad we got to do it again this week.
And then we'll be doing some dancing too.
Yeah, yeah. You got to dance if you get in Kahlil Whitney's car.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, peace out, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you all so soon.
See y'all.
Well, this was a surprise interview. We weren't expecting Kahlil Whitney to get onto our podcast this week. We were going to reach out to him next week, but we got him onto the podcast, and overall, we thought it was a great interview. What did you think, Cameron?
Man, it was a blast. Love that guy. I'm so glad he's back in Lexington and in good grace with BBN and everything. Like we welcomed him back with open arms. He's given us some fun this summer, so it was cool to sit down and talk with him a little bit. But like you said, it was a surprise. But I'm very glad we got to do it.
Yeah, and like I said, we're about to get into it, but we discussed a little bit about playing at UK, his short stint coming back to Lexington, playing with La Familia, and then some of his best memories he had. So we hope you all enjoyed. So let's get into the interview with Kahlil Whitney right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Conversations with Chris and Cameron. And right now, we're coming out of the break, and we're joined right now by a former Kentucky Wildcat and a TBT standout with La Familia, Kahlil Whitney. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. Just a blessing to be here today.
We're glad you joined, and we can't wait to talk about, your time at Kentucky, but also your time recently with La Familia.
Absolutely. Me either.
hmm And could you just right now talk about how it was like playing with La Familia, just coming back to Lexington after you've been gone for 5 years now?
It was a great feeling, great situation. It's an honor to be able to play for the team first and foremost, but it's a great feeling being able to come back and play with such a great group of guys and play in front of such a great fan base. So very, very fortunate to have that opportunity.
Understood. And I just wanted to talk about what happened on Tuesday with us. I mean, I stayed afterwards because I was just talking to some of the current cats, and basically I'm walking to Chipotle, and you picked me up, and that was very great for me. Like it was an honor, and I really appreciate that. But what was going through your mind whenever you saw me?
I just seen you, I met you, probably 4 or 5 days prior to that. So just me being who I am, just wanted to help you out. I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know how far it was, but I was willing to help at the moment. And you're my guy. So yeah, it was nothing to me.
Yeah, you're my guy as well.
So
Yeah, heck yeah, that's awesome. So let's throw this back a little bit. This is an OG story I had to look up to kind of just see some of your inspiration that kind of led you to Kentucky a little bit. Anthony Davis was the guy that growing up in Chicago, you said you looked up to big time. So when he was killing it at UK and all that, you had said that, man, I just want to go to that school that wears blue. That was like your thing. And you also wrote in eighth grade a letter to your future self saying that you want to be a Kentucky Wildcat, and that was your goal. And was it on your commitment day that your teacher surprised you with that letter?
yeah, when I saw my letter of intent at my grammar school, my my favorite teacher, which was my English teacher, surprised me with that letter. I forgot I had even typed it up and wrote it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's amazing. So like with the connection with AD, that being kind of like a guy that you could look up to, with the Chicago connection, Kentucky connection, all that. Other than AD, what were some of the things that kind of drew you to Kentucky? Was it like just Coach Cal's recruiting, or was it something with the brand of Kentucky? Like, what was some of the big reasons that you ended up being a Kentucky Wildcat?
Just the basketball pedigree, just being able to go come here and if you're fortunate enough to do well, you know what I'm saying, it opens a lot of doors for you as you can see all the NBA players just that comes from Kentucky who's played for Coach Cal or played at his program.
Mhm.
It speaks for itself, so it speaks volumes. That was a huge one of the biggest reasons why I committed to Kentucky.
Mhm. And what do you think made that 2019-2020 team so special before, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic hit?
Just I feel like all the roles were filled. We had everybody. We had everything for a full equipped team. We had guys who were willing to go rebound and block shots and be okay with that. And we had guys who were willing to go out there and play defense and make the right play and actually take the open shot. So I feel like that team was very well put together, and the guys knew their role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that team was winning it all. Like if COVID didn't mess it up, that team was amazing. But I do have something that'll maybe it could be a blast from the past, or it could be somebody extremely recent. I don't really know. Who would you say in your career at any level, at any point, who is the toughest player to guard? That kind of shocked you, maybe scored a lot on you, whatever it may be.
I've been asked this question a lot, like over the last course, like 5, 10 years, but it's still the same answer, man. Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is probably one of the toughest covers I had to guard as a basketball player, and Jabari Parker.
Okay, that's two big names too.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think was the toughest player to guard at practice ball at Kentucky?
Nobody, bro. I feel like my defense is 1-on-1, and especially in college, like I was a little bit more athletic, so guys weren't really scoring on me like that in practice.
That's why I felt like I had to ask the question because I was like, man, there's probably not too many on the list
Mhm.
when it comes to being toughest to guard. But I have heard Cam Reddish. I think it was Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey. I think were the one that like blew up like a year ago talking about it, and they were saying Cam Reddish was just like
Yeah,
different. It was just
I
crazy.
really, yeah. I mean, he gave me 30, but I had 32. But at the same time, it's like he's 6'8", 6'9". He can shoot the three. It's a lot. It's tough cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking a little bit about Kentucky, I know it must have been tough to leave UK during the middle of the season. Could you just talk about what led up to that decision and how tough it was to actually make that call?
Uh, that's something that I'm gonna release on my YouTube when the time is right. But yeah, a lot played to my decision making, and uh, I can't wait to release that for you guys.
And when do you think that will come out? And then what's also your YouTube username so people can actually check out your channel?
You can find me at Kahlil Whitney on YouTube, and you can Kahlil Whitney on TikTok as well. I'm releasing a doc from actually I've been recording it since high school, so this was kind of the ending chapter to the documentary as far as coming back to Kentucky, and you should be able to see this probably for the next month and a half. I'm just having my guys finish everything up and add the little bits and pieces that I want to really stand out in it. But I can't wait to get that out for you guys.
And will it
Yeah,
be one long video or multiple videos in the documentary?
It will be multiple videos, so I think I'm going to break it down to 3 to 4 videos to leave some interesting factors in there.
Understood. And can you talk a little bit about your TikTok as well? I know that is what UK fans remember. Like before you even you joined already La Familia at that time, but it wasn't announced. But could you just talk about that moment whenever you posted that TikTok video and every Kentucky fan was talking about it?
Yeah, it was literally just a TikTok I seen that was the sound. It was the sound of I forgot the name of it, but it was some kind of like sad song that was being played. But when I seen it, I figured I'd just tell my story about like the ups and downs of what I've been going through, and I figured the picture would have told a lot without saying too much, and posted it. Didn't expect it to blow up like it did, but grateful that it did do the numbers it did. And yeah, so very appreciative of the social media world.
yeah, that's amazing. I'm excited for your YouTube channel though. That's I remember you tweeted about it probably about a month ago that you were like, I'm about to start this YouTube channel or whatever, and I had to subscribe immediately. I'm fired up for it. That documentary is gonna be amazing.
Bro, it's something so it's gonna be really special, bro. Just to tell them the full story, tell them everything, and then just finish it off here in Lexington with the being in the good graces of the fans. I didn't get to win the TBT, but me personally, I felt like I left it all out there, and yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to to the YouTube and the content creating. I'm definitely gonna be more active on TikTok and everything. It's more just about timing for everything.
Mhm. Understood. And talking a little bit more about the basketball tournament, how was it like being back in Lexington and then, of course, putting on that La Familia jersey? Of course, it's not a UK jersey, but it still feels good to see the fans and cheer you on in that La Familia jersey.
Like I said, it was amazing. Being able to play in front of the fans, actually have a spurt, a good game in front of the fans, and actually win in front of the fans. It was amazing. It was a good feeling.
Mhm.
It was a great game. What was it? 18 points, I think it was what it was. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was
18 and 27 minutes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was incredible. There was like I don't even just the crowd reaction because like me and Chris were both lucky enough to be there to witness this game, but it was just like every shot you were shooting. Like there was, I remember the fadeaway mid range late in the game was the one where like I just heard people around me like, "Oh my goodness!" Like it was just like, yeah, he's on one tonight. But that was an incredible game. I wish it could have turned out a little bit different on the win column, but there's always next year, so we can get it back next year. But we are very happy to have you. It was awesome to see you ball out this year in the blue and white. Like Chris said, it's not necessarily a Kentucky jersey, but it's La Familia. It's the family. It's Big Blue Nation still rooting for you, so it's been fun.
But
Yeah. And how did it feel to hit that pull-up three in the fourth quarter to, take the lead at that time for La Familia?
so amazing, bro. Like honestly, it was the best feeling I had as a professional basketball player in a very, very long time.
Mhm.
Probably one of the biggest moments of just like my basketball career, just as far as like on a personal level, just knowing my story and just hitting that shot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's unfortunate we couldn't win the game, but that was a huge moment for me.
Did he know you were going to pull up and take that three at that time?
No, I didn't. I knew I was gonna take the shot for sure, but I didn't know that they were gonna just like completely like be that laid up on a switch, which left me like a little space to really get into my original three, which is the swing hezzy to the three. But yeah, it was like the picture perfect situation in the perfect moment, and the crowd was loud as hell. I couldn't even hear myself think, so it was just a surreal moment for me.
Yeah, that moment, like yeah, like you said, the crowd, the pop was crazy because that was the first lead in a while at that point. But the thing that added to it being picture perfect was later on that night, I saw a different angle of it where they panned to the current players, and I think that rope was barely holding back Malachi Moreno and Denzel Aberdeen and all them. They were about to like run on the floor and like tackle you. It felt
Yeah,
like, but their
yeah.
excitement was like none other. But so if you got to talk a lot to those guys, I know there was like the behind the scenes stuff. There was a practice and scrimmage and all that. But if you got to really like sit down and chop it up with some of those guys?
No, not for real. Definitely got some shots up with a few of the guys. Just being in the gym, being around them. They're pretty hardworking guys, but they're locked in. You know what I'm saying they're always in the gym, but as far as on a personal level, I haven't had any like conversations with them. But like we had a little trash talk during the scrimmage. We chopped it up like right before the scrimmage together as a group. And that was it. But I definitely want to get to know more of the players and get in cahoots of the program. So it's something I'm looking forward to in the future.
Yeah, and are you trying to get to any UK games this upcoming year, whether it be the regular season or SEC tournament or anything?
Yeah, if the opportunity presents itself, I definitely want to come out to the game and show love and just see the guys get the dub for sure.
Yeah, and real quick, going back to La Familia, what was it like whenever you got that call from 20 Beckham to get you on the team this year?
Great. Like I said, me and Twenty been knowing each other for a minute. The last 2 years, 2, 3 years, last 2 years he's been trying to get me on TBT. But like I said, I was overseas the first time he asked me, and then this time it's just like the perfect situation. When he hit my line, I went right to the gym. Like
Yeah.
I ran right to the lab, literally.
Yeah, I hear you. And like we've been saying, you played great in all three games that La Familia played in, and hopefully next year we can get back to the Final Four and also win the championship for sure and get that $1 million for you.
Next year we're gonna win it. Next year we're gonna.
So,
If I gotta go out there and take the last 5 shots, then this is what I have to do.
yeah. Uh, Did you have a favorite player that you were playing with on La Familia, whether it be like Archie Goodwin or Kareem Cantor or Willie Cauley-Stein?
Not necessarily. I love Archie's game. I love his game. Um, but I feel like as a whole, we had a lot of guys who had a lot of different abilities, and I just couldn't. Yeah, I can't really just say it's one favorite because there's so many guys that's good at a lot. So, but I definitely like the Archie movements and the way he creates space.
Mhm.
Sure.
I do have a question about just running it back next year. Who's like one guy you plan to help recruit? Like, what's like one dude that it wasn't on this year's team that you would like to have on the team next year for sure?
Go out there and try to recruit John Wall.
John Wall.
Okay, yeah. BBN will love to hear that because that one's it's Boogie and John Wall. That's like the top two that everybody brings up right away. They're just like, yeah, those are the two. But
Oh,
Mhm.
you good job.
Yeah,
John Wall would be sweet.
yeah, it would be great to get John Wall. I mean, think about it. If you got all the great players that aren't even in the NBA for UK right now, we would have a stacked team with John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Brandon Knight. I mean, the list could go on and on with all the top talent UK has produced over the years. Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about NIL and everything. Of course, NIL wasn't around whenever you were here, but do you think that would have changed your perspective in college at all if NIL was a thing?
Yeah, a little bit. Just feel like the sense of urgency wouldn't have been as urgent. It would have been a more of it's a calmer situation, just knowing I was financially stable and able to take care of my family while being at school. So definitely think that would have played a huge part for sure.
Understood. And real quick, do you have a favorite place where you enjoy playing overseas, whichever country it was?
Um, I love playing in Australia, and I also love playing in Europe.
Mhm,
Those are the two places I really love playing basketball.
mhm. Understood. And what made those two places stand out for you?
Um, the brand of basketball that's being played, how they treat the players in the NBL and the NBL one. This is great basketball, interactive fans, great refereeing. It's very Americanized in Australia. It's 14-hour difference. I know that's a bummer, but I mean, when you're playing overseas, you kind of get used to things like that. You can make those type of sacrifices because it's something that I've been doing my whole life. So, yeah, Croatia is probably number one for me because like playing a four out there is easy for me in my game. Like the guys out there are more on the slower feet, and it's kind of easier for me to excel when I'm playing in Croatia. And the views in Croatia are number one. Like it's the sightseeing is probably one of one.
Understood. Do
Yeah.
you have
Yeah, that's sweet.
one
So
that?
you're going, is it year two in Australia that you'll be going into?
So I just played in the NBL one before I came here to TBT. Um, I currently don't know what contract I'm taking on next. I'm actually in the process of taking on a job now. I don't know like where it is going to be because it's between four different countries, but yeah, I should probably know within like the next week or two.
Can
Um,
you say the countries at all or no?
um, they are on my phone. I actually forgot, but two of them were. I think one of them was Portugal and the other one was Spain.
Understood.
Yeah,
And speaking of non-UK related questions, who do you think is the GOAT in basketball, by the way?
the goat
Yeah, greatest of
He's
all.
only got one answer. Got to be.
23.
Yeah, I was about to say it's got to be. Being in Chicago, there's only one answer. It's got to be.
Yeah, I hear you. So you think MJ's the GOAT for sure, though?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So along with MJ, what's your all-time starting five basketball players ever?
Man, this question get a lot of guys in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Let me
big
see.
time.
At the one, I'll go. The five, I'll go Shaq. Four, I'll go Victor Wembanyama.
Wow.
Three, I'll go KD.
No, LeBron.
Two,
Elite.
I'll go. um,
You can just rock with MJ there.
Yeah.
one, I'm going Braun, and then two, I go Mike.
All right.
Okay.
I can
That's
Okay.
my
handle
five.
being
That's
in
my five.
first spot.
So Victor's already in the all time for you.
For me, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's yeah. I feel like I wouldn't see that a whole lot, but I like it though. I
Yeah.
mean, he's on a crazy trajectory already for sure.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be special.
Yeah. And then who would you have for your all-time starting five for UK, like from UK?
John Wall, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Tyrese Maxey. How many is that?
Gotta get
You can
a
throw yourself.
yeah, you gotta get a four, I would
No,
say.
I'm saying that's four.
Yeah, that's four players.
Yeah, that was four.
Yeah, myself. I,
You're
Okay.
I thought I thought I was at three. Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's four. So John Wall, D Book, you, Anthony Davis, and who was the other one? I'm blanking.
Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey. So yeah, you would play the three or the four then, I guess. Probably the
Be a
four.
special group.
Yeah. And then a couple more questions so we can wrap it up. How do you feel Mark Pope has done? I mean, last year was his first year at UK. He's going into his second season. What do you think about Mark Pope? Have you had any conversations with him at all?
But not really. I don't. I watched a little UK basketball last year. I don't watch really, a lot of collegiate basketball in general. But just based off of what I've seen in the scrimmage and what he showed us, a very surgical coach. The guys respect him, uh, and I feel like they want to run through a brick wall for him. So that's kind of a great trait to have when you're a coach. You got guys who are willing to when you go out there and play their hardest. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
Understood.
heck yeah.
And then just to talk about real quick, a former head coach with John Calipari, what was his coaching style like during practice? I mean, do you have any funny moments that you can name with Calipari at all?
can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say his coaching style was it's very similar to how I play AU with Nick Irvin. Very aggressive. Know what to expect from him. You know what I'm saying? Always on 10. And yeah, he also gets the best out of his players. So
Understood. Yeah, and I appreciate you talking with us. Do you have anything else you would like to add, Cameron?
Yeah, I have one last question, and there may be some of these like little things like dropped in throughout the documentary, but what is like one line or like piece of advice that you've carried with you, whether it be at any different stage of your life? What's one piece of advice that you would like have that's engraved in your brain that you could like share with us?
uh, consistency is everything, and never giving up is key.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, and then I think you mentioned about training, having training sessions. Are you still thinking to do that with high school players or anybody?
Yeah, so I'm on my way out. I think tomorrow my flight's out at 10 a.m. So I'm currently out going to Chicago, going back home, and I'm going to be getting all the details and everything. But I definitely want to start training here in Lexington, like whether that's private sessions with high school kids, elite high school guys, even younger kids who just want to lock in and train with like a former UK player or a guy who has a lot of knowledge from the game. And I feel like that's something I could pour back into the community, but not only the community, but just the youth, the basketball youth.
Can you
So
train me at all?
for sure, bro. If you're looking to get your skills up, man, I definitely can lock in with you for sure.
I currently am a high school coach, so I'll definitely put in. I don't think I have to put much of a word in, but
Yeah,
I'll send some guys your way for sure.
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I believe that wraps up the interview unless you have anything else you'd like to say, Cameron.
I think I'm good. I want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us some great memories this summer. Like
Yeah,
us Kentucky fans, we are crazy. So it's wild to like think of how like crazy we get in the middle of July.
Yeah,
So you gave us some great memories. I'm excited for next year and excited to follow you for your journey as you go forward too.
appreciate you guys for having me. It was a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate everybody watching and listening, whether it be on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Thank you again, Kahlil, for joining us, and I wish you the best in your career, wherever you land up at, and we appreciate that, and hopefully you'll be back next year with La Familia.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys again.